right, gang. Thank you so much for coming out on this beautiful Monday, and thanks for Stephen for hosting. How important and why do we want to hit executive? Right now, I'm in IKEA waiting to return some stuff. So just say if you can do work anywhere, right? So thanks everybody. We have a really good lineup of recordings. We just added Stephanie Blackburn at the end on Thursday for setting up three-way calls. So that was new. She stepped out and asked to add that, and I said, sure thing. So if anybody's thinking of certain business type training that you want to see, please message me and we'll find a leader, or even if you want to teach it, if you're really good at something and you think it's good to share it with everybody, let's just add them and keep them going. These 15, 30-minute trainings are awesome. So, anyway, so let's get going. Steve, you take it away, and I'm gonna mute and take my picture.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, thanks so much, Sylvie. Thanks everybody for getting on the call. So we're going to go over a couple things today, which I get really excited about. I was actually doing a call with a guy on my team who just brought in a week or so ago. He just became an associate and he's all going to get to consultant this week. The whole thing is getting to executive, and I've been in Isagenix for 12 years. So if you've got people, maybe it's you, or you've got people that you know who've been in Isagenix for any length of time, starting about 6 or 7 years ago, anything before that, all these bonuses that happen for becoming an executive didn't exist. And this is so exciting for being able to help people get to executive. And I think the reason people don't go for executive as much as they should is because they don't know what all those bonuses are. So I'm excited about talking about all the benefits of getting to executive. So number one, we'll get this stuff out of the way. The accomplishment. Yeah, that's big for a lot of people, but it's the smallest component of this whole component of getting to executive, because that's just a personal thing, right? It's going to show direction and leadership in your team, but really, when you get to executive, you're going to show other people in your team, number one, that it's possible for them, and number two, you're going to be better able to explain to them the power of getting to executive and what that actually is able to allow you to generate when it comes to impact in money. So a lot of times when we look at network marketing, especially a binary team like Isagenix, we've got two legs, so it's easy to talk about the power of two. You bring in two people, one in one leg and one in the other, and you help them do the same thing, and it replicates. And that's true, it absolutely is the case. But when you get to executive, you multiply that by 5, right? You really crank it up, because after you've brought in one person in your left leg and one person in your right, you can do that again and again and again and again. You do that 5 times to get to executive. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to talk about a couple quick things just to get this out of the way, because this is so important. Getting to executive is about creating consultants, and it's about creating consultants at the same time. So the faster you do it, the better it's going to be. If you take a year to get to executive, there's a really good chance that the consultants that you created early in the process aren't going to be sticking around by the end. So don't think just because somebody's become a consultant, they're going to stay a consultant. That's the frustrating part. When I started back in 2007, the only way to make money was to get to executive, because we had that 10% match. That's all we had as a bonus for getting to executive. There's so much more today, and I'm going to go over that. But one of the things that we're going to help you think about is, don't get people focused on getting to consultant, because somebody can get to consultant and not make a whole heck of a lot of money, right? They can get some double PIBs, they can get the consultant creation bonus, and now the consultant bonus of $50, and now the crystal consultant bonus of an additional $100. The $150 is not going to knock their socks off. So you want to be able to explain the opportunity about the income component for getting to executive. And if somebody's just getting to consultant and that's their focus, they're not going to make enough money to keep them there, and they're going to lose the interest, and they're potentially not going to stay as a consultant. And it's going to be very frustrating for you as somebody who's trying to create consultants so you can rank advance and get to executive. So what is an executive? It's having 5 personally enrolled consultants in one leg and 5 personally enrolled consultants in the other leg. As you remember, you don't have to have people coming in on 100 BV or more order now to stay active. As a consultant, you can have 10 people doing 10 BV or more in one leg. It's just a total of 100 BV in orders of person enrolled people in your left leg and your right leg. And you can find that out in your back office. I'm not going to do any slides. I'm not going to do any screen share today. I'm just going to talk. So grab a pen and a paper and write this stuff down and go check it out. But in your back office, you can go under your personally enrolled details. So go to team and then view placement tree, and up on the top right above your BV summary table, you're going to see personally enrolled details. And you click that and it's going to show all the people that you've personally enrolled, right? And you're going to be able to see that for people in your team as well. And you're going to be able to see who was enrolled on the left leg and who was enrolled on the right leg, because it's going to say which team they're in. And it's also going to show you the amount of BV that they've ordered in the last 30 days. You need to have 100 BV of orders in the left leg and 100 BV of orders in the right leg. You can actually rank it, so it's all left leg showing first and then all right leg. Just count it up. If you got 100 BV or more on each leg, that person's a consultant. So you need to do that 10 times, 5 in one leg and 5 in the other, in order to become an executive. When you do that, there's a bunch of things that are going to kick in for you. So number one, you get your executive match. And that's pretty cool. So this is part of the comp plan, right? There's only 3 components of the compensation plan. There's product introductory bonuses. There's cycles, right? Our team volume, which is 600 BV in one leg and 300 in the other. And then we've also got the executive match. Everything else, all the crystal bonuses, the rank advancement bonuses, the 40 consultants that you got $100 for each, the double PIBs, leadership pools, all those things, those are all promotions and bonuses. They're actually not part of the compensation plan. They're add-ons. And quite often they have a deadline to them. And the way Isagenix has always done those things is they just work so well, they just keep repeating them. But it's not part of the comp plan. The comp plan is cycles, executive match, and product introductory bonuses. You want to get to executive because it's going to allow you to get that executive match. Our whole goal is to bring this, and you want them to take off with this, because when you're an executive, you get a 10% bonus on all their cycles. If that person's making $100,000 a year, just because you enrolled them, your executive match is going to get you another $10,000 a year from the company. And the way they do that each week is the company takes a look at all your personally enrolled people, totals up all their cycles, comes up with that number and gives you 10% of that. So if the total number of all the cycles of people in your team is 100, you're going to get an additional 10 cycles added on to your paycheck each week because of the cycles, that 10% executive match from all your personal enrolled people. If you want to find out where that is, go into your back office, go under reports, click business, and you're going to see your blueprint reports there. Go click blueprint report, and in the very last page, it's going to list out all your personally enrolled people and what they're cycling. And it's going to come up with a number at the bottom, and that's your executive match. It's awesome. You want to get that money. Other things that getting to executive is going to do, non-monetarily, we've got some retreats that are coming up that Isagenix has announced. So when you get to executive, you qualify for particular retreats based on your income or your rank level. So you want to take a look at those as well. I think you'll find those in isagenixevents.com. Consultant bonus. Here's another thing that you want to be able to get benefit from. When you're an executive, right, you're obviously creating 10 consultants. My recommendation is that you don't stop at 10. Get to 10, but then keep pushing to 20. Get 10 consultants on one leg and 10 consultants on the other, because there's always going to be people that are falling off, right? And going back to the focus on consultant versus income. If you get people focusing on a particular income, they're going to stay as a consultant in order to make that income, right? Because you can't make money in Isagenix unless you're a paid as consultant. So get people focusing on, let's say you're bringing people in, you want to get them to consultant. That's great. They're going to become a consultant because they're trying to make money. Get them focusing on the money that they're trying to make and what that's going to do for them. They will stay as a consultant in order to make that money. But if you get somebody focusing on the consultancy, they may not necessarily make any money. And if they don't, they got to consultant, then they relax, right? They're not going to relax if they're trying to get to a particular income, and they're going to stay as a consultant. So it's so important if you can keep that in mind. But as you're creating consultants, your first 40 consultants that you create now with Isagenix, you're going to get a $100 bonus. If you're in Canada, it's $110. So your first 40 consultants that you create, get that money. Don't stop at 10, right? Because when you stop at 10, what happens is one person doesn't reorder. That one person in your team that was a consultant because of that order is now no longer a paid as consultant. and they fall off, and now you're not an executive. And that is deadly when it comes to the leadership pools. You don't want that to happen. It's also deadly when it comes into the Millionaire in Action. So Millionaire in Action form, you can find that information, go to your Isolife Success Plan, right? So you can see that on page 19, Leader in Action. So you can practice the Leader in Action or the Millionaire in Action by using this form here on page 20 in order to track your current rank. But for Millionaire in Action, what the company is concerned about is executives. You want to make sure that you stay on top of that. The other thing that you're going to find once you get into the ranks where you're ranking through is the cycle bonuses. When you get to 5 cycles, you're going to be able to get that 5 cycle bonus because you were a consultant. So you're getting people to consultants so they can get that 5 cycle bonus, which is $500. You're getting $250 the first week, $250 the second week you do it. And if you get to manager, now you qualify for the 1-star bonus, that 10 cycle bonus. $500 the first week, $500 the second week, you hit 10 cycles. You need to be director to get your 2-star bonus. That's 20 cycles. The first time you get to 20 cycles, you're going to get $1,000. The second time you get to 20 cycles, you're going to get another $1,000. So important to hit that money. You don't want to lose that or leave that on a table. And this is where another great deal for getting to executive is the 3-star bonus. That's the 40 cycle bonus. I mean, first time you get to 40 cycles in a week, as you're growing your team, you're getting to executive, you need to be executive in order to be able to get that 3-star bonus. That's 40 cycles. So 3-star is it here. 3-star is 40 cycles a week. So the first time you get to 40 cycles, you're going to get a $1,500 bonus. The second time you get to 40 cycles, you're going to get another $1,500. But you got to be executive. Again, another awesome reason to become an executive. Finally, leadership pools. These are amazing. And as you're progressing through and you get to director, you're going to be in the director pool. So those are, where did I saw that back here? Back on page 79, actually 78, 77, I think. Yeah, 76 in your Isolife Success Plan, $75,000 for the director pool, right? And then 79, $125,000 for the executive and 1-star pool. So how that works is you can go into your back office, go under reports and then business, and then scroll down, and depending on your rank, you're going to look for, if you're not executive yet, click your director pool report and click your current month, and it's going to tell you your benchmark that you need to hit in order to qualify for that pool. And the last time I looked at the share value for the director pool, I think it was like $640, and the executive pool was $520. The share value is huge these days. So the faster y'all can get to director and then work your way up to executive, the more money you're going to make. In those pools, here's how it works. I'm going to very simply explain this. It's going to take your average number of cycles from the previous month. You can find out what that is. That's called your benchmark. It's going to be in the report that I just told you to find. Go into reports in your back office, click the business tab, and you're going to see director pool, current month. It's going to tell you what your benchmark is. And let's say it was 2. And let's say you're cycling 4 times this month. So your benchmark, your average cycles last month was 2. Let's say you're cycling 4 times this month. That's 2 cycles more per week than your benchmark. Let's say there's 4 months and you're doing it every week, 4, 4, 4, 4. That's 8 extra cycles that you're going to get. If the share value for director pool was $600 and something, that's $4,800, I think. I think it's $4,800. I suck at math. Anyways, let's say it's $4,800. The most you can make in the director pool, though, is $2,500 for 3 months. So once you get to director, because you're working your way up to executive, there's potentially another $7,500 that you're going to be able to pull in on top of all the other bonuses that you got, because you're working towards executive and you're growing your team and you're increasing your income in cycles. When you get to executive, it's the same way. You take your benchmark from the previous month, and you can see that report at the same spot. So click reports, business, and you're going to see your executive leadership pool benchmark report. You can see your previous month, but also the current month. Find out what your benchmark is, see the date for that particular week, and you're going to know that you need to push to get more cycles than what your benchmark is. So let's say your benchmark is 4. Now you're doing 8 cycles per week. That's 4 extra cycles per week. Let's say times 4, that's 16. And your share value is, I think, $500 and something last time I looked at it. That's $8,000 right there that you're going to have in terms of shares. That the max in the executive 1-star pool is 5 cycles, or sorry, $5,000 a week. So you can make up to $5,000 a week for 6 months. That's potentially $30,000. You don't have access to that unless you're an executive. You want to get to executive. So everybody thinks the work. They look at the work about getting to executive. But I always look at the potential that you're going to create in terms of impact for helping other people find out about Isagenix, in terms of growing your team, because the more consultants that you create in your organization, the faster your team is going to go and grow, and the more income you're going to generate. Now, there's other pools, executive leadership pools for 2-star and above. They work a little different because your benchmark is actually based on the number of cycles that your team is making. And it's a 13-week average that they get your benchmark from. And then your payout is actually based on your increase in team cycles. So you really want to create as many consultants as possible so that when you get to that executive leadership pool level, 2-star and above, you've got a lot more consultants making cycles so that you can get more, not just executive match, but also potential growth. Because the share value in the executive 2-star and above pool is way lower. It's like $17, $18 a share. So you need to create a lot of shares to create the income in there. But by then, your team size is so much bigger, your actual cycle value, your personal cycle value, the 600 BV in one leg and 300 in the other is so much higher. So anyways, those are some amazing benefits for being to executive. I always focus on the money, so my slant is going to be talking about the income potential for getting to executive, but there's certainly the status, the leadership ability that you're going to have. There's going to be access to different calls. Like I'm on a 2-star to 7-star call that and Facebook group that you're going to have access to. Another big benefit is going to be part of Susan Sly's CEO roundtable group. When you get to executive and you're in team success, you're going to be in that group. That's amazing leadership from Susan and some amazing connections and information that you're going to get, and you don't want to miss out on that. So anyways, guys, that's the big benefit there that you're going to find. So Sylvie, if you're catching up still, come on in and end the recording. But if there's any questions anybody has, sort of jump out. I see there's a couple people on the call. And if not, if you're catching the recording later, post any questions that you've got wherever you see this recording, and we'll get the information to you.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Excellent and great information. I'll tell you guys, it was one of the milestones that I wanted to hit was to get to that executive rank, and also to be part of exclusive groups for those ranks, the people who get there. So it's about, putting down those timelines and working towards getting to the upper level in business. So thanks a lot, Steve, and we'll see you later.